Last night I told you, every journey has a hidden destination of which the traveler is unaware. This morning, I'd like to take you to Bali with me. 3 years ago, my husband Rob and I flew across the world to visit Bali. I had such huge expectations ever since I read that book, Eat, Pray, Love, in 2006. I've wanted to go to Bali. I promised myself one day I'm going to be in Bali and I'm going to have a spiritual experience there, just like Elizabeth Gilbert. I'm going to meet a healer. Maybe it'll be an old crone who'll see straight through me. Or maybe to be a holy man, and I'll get to ask my questions and have a huge healing. Well, we get to Bali, and none of that happens. The whole trip is a huge disappointment to me. It's crawling with tourists. Ubud is crawling with tourists who probably all read the same book just like me, and they all saw the movie, and we're all looking for something we're not getting. The traffic there makes the worst traffic jam in LA seem like a breeze. And everything is so commercial and kitschy, so over-touristed in a way that made it seem cheap and unholy and so disappointing. With massive tour buses strangling little narrow streets that weren't intended for such wide vehicles, and those cruise ships and the massive resorts going up everywhere, and the sheer kitsch of it all. I meet an American expat there in Ubud, and I ask her, where can I find a really spiritual yoga class here? And she says, honestly, you'll have a more spiritual yoga class in Santa Monica than what you're gonna find here in Ubud. The yoga barn is so packed with tourists, you won't even find a free place for your mat to lay out your yoga mat. Rob and I, we visited temples and jungles and monkeys and rice paddies. We saw beautiful sights. But the spiritual encounter I'd been expecting and longing for, nothing. One day, toward the end of our trip, we're going to be spending a few days on some other part of Bali. And it's going to be about a 2-hour drive. And Rob prearranged a taxi for us. Our driver arrives in an old Chevy. And that day, it was particularly hot and humid. We get into the back seat and there's no AC. And our driver's name is Gede. He's chipper and he giggles a lot when he talks. And I'm feeling cranky. Bali's been a total bust. And now we're stuck in the back seat of this old jalopy with vinyl seats, and we're sweating, and the back of my legs are sticking to the vinyl, and all the windows are rolled down, and the smell of the exhaust fumes and the musty carpet and the sound of the motor chugging away and the noise of the traffic and the honking and all the cars and trucks and buses at a standstill and the taxi driver Getty prattling on and giggling. And I wish he would just be quiet, but he keeps talking and I don't feel like answering. I just want to go home. Out of nowhere, Getty says, I died in 1999. This is my second life. I thought to myself, oy vey, this guy is a nut. Get me out of here. I asked him, what do you mean you died? How do you know you died? He said I was meditating, and then my friends told me I died, and then I woke up and came back, and I've never been the same person. This is my second life. And out of nowhere, Getty says to me, Naomi, do you love yourself? I'm cranky and sweaty with my thighs stuck to the vinyl seat. I mumble, yeah, I love myself. He asks me again, Naomi, do you love yourself? And right away, I know I'm in trouble. Getty takes it deeper. How big do you love yourself? Do you feel that you love yourself? I say, there are things that I love about myself, and there are things I'm critical about myself. Getty says, it's time to do meditation. What? I say. He said, meditation is not always in a holy room. This is a holy car. Close your eyes, he orders me. But don't you close your eyes, I say. Getty laughs his giggle laugh. And I give in to him. Close my eyes. Inhale very slow, he says. And exhale with love. And then relax. Getty starts singing to himself while I'm inhaling and exhaling very slowly. La, da, 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 da. The melody sounds familiar to me. I can almost... What song is that? La, da, 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 da. Getty says, Naomi, call your name in your heart. Call your name in your mind with love. Call your name from the top of your head to your feet. Say, Naomi, to your left eye with love. Keep going. Getty says, and then he sings that song again, the melody. La, da, 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 da. It's from my childhood. It sounds like a Jewish prayer, but how could Getty know a Jewish prayer from my childhood? He keeps going. He says, say to yourself, I love myself. I love you, myself. I love you. I love you, my body. I love you, my mind. Feel your head. Feel your left hand. Feel your right hand. Feel your stomach. Feel my left leg. Feel my right leg. Feel the love coming to your body. It makes you stronger and stronger, lighter and lighter. Wisdom, 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 he said. All the sounds of the traffic, the stickiness, all the noises and the smells vanished. It's perfectly silent where I am, perfectly still, even though I know I'm in a moving car with really bad suspension. A wave of calm washes over me. I'm floating and grounded at the same time. And Getty's singing that Hasidic prayer from my childhood. La, da, 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 da. La, da, 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 da. Now I hear Gede say, call your father's name. Just call your father's name with love. Gede starts singing again, and I realize it's a psalm that my father taught me when I was just a kid. How could Gede know it? How could Gede know my father's song? How could Gede know my father's gone? That he's been gone for so long, and that I have so much trouble even picturing him. Or maybe it's just that the pain of my loss was so deep that I buried my father so far that I have trouble accessing him. Gede says, your father is coming. He loves you so much. He misses you so much. And all at once, my father's right in front of me. Gede says, if you want to smile, smile. If you want to cry, just cry. Tears start spilling down my cheeks. Gede says, feel your father hug you. He loves you so much. He misses you so much. Every day he prays always your name. He always prays your name. For you, always misses you. I see my father. He's holding me. We're sitting on a bench somewhere in a garden together, and his eyes are wet behind his thick glasses, and he's smiling. We're holding hands now, and Gede's singing. Lai, dai, 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 dai. And suddenly the words of my childhood prayer come to me. Keli, Keli, lama azavtani. Keli, Keli, lama zaftani. It's the words from the Psalms. My God, why did you abandon me? Why did you leave me? Gede says, tell your father, I love you. And say to him, please forgive me. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. I heard Gede, but I don't know what I'm asking forgiveness for. I was a good kid. I didn't get into trouble. I studied so hard. I was a good kid. What did I do to my father? Did I do him wrong? I remember saying right then in the car, why? And Gede singing that Hasidic melody of the psalm. Lai, dai, 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 dai. And suddenly the hurt of a 15-year-old girl whose father was murdered comes rushing in. And I'm having feelings, and I know they're not rational feelings, but they're real and they're as hard as lead. You see, I was angry at my father when he died. Even though he was a helpless victim. And all this time, I thought I was angry with God. But I know it's more complicated than that. Why? Why did you leave me? Why did you abandon me? Why? I turned to my father and said, "Forgive me, Dad, for being so mad at you when you died." And he said, no, Mala. Please, forgive me for leaving you. I'm engulfed by waves of tears and gasps. And Geddy instructs me. He says, "Say to your father, thank you, dear father." I look at my dad, and I don't say anything out loud. My eyes, they're overflowing with gratitude. He says, "Feel your father touch your head." I do feel him touching me on my kepala. Geddy says, "Listen." And I do hear. I take in everything my father says to me, deep inside. Geddy says, "Naomi, return now. You can always come again. Like light in the sunrise coming from the east, coming to your eyes, coming to your mind, coming to your body. Stay together always in your heart. Inhale slowly. Exhale with love, saying, I love myself. I love myself. I love myself." And open your eyes. I'm sopping wet from tears and snot. Geddy giggles and says, "That's just a very small meditation. You feel any different?" I start laughing and crying. Nashuva. Every journey has a hidden destination of which the traveler is unaware. I flew to Bali and it was a total bust. And I entered the Holy of Holies inside a stinky taxi cab. Last night I told you about the gift of extra time. And I know that all of us who have loved and lost someone feel cheated. Like we wish we could just have extra time. And Yisker is the miracle extra time, where we can pull back the veil past all distance and time. Yisker Nashuva. Yisker. The hour of Yisker is upon us, and our hearts are breaking with memories of people who taught us, loved us. We miss them so. And we've come here to pay tribute to them in our hearts, to thank them without words for all the way they blessed us, for the words they taught you, that are here for you always to guide you. Nashuva Yisker is our time to remember and to have extra time with those who cared for us, loved us, touched us, taught us. They all come to us, those who we've loved and lost, whose spirit and memory and light will never leave us. So I'd like to ask you to do something sacred with me now. I'd like to ask you to close your eyes and welcome them. Picture a sweet moment with someone you've come here to remember. Try to picture them beside you. Look into their eyes. Just let time stop. Just schmooze with them. Can you see what they're wearing? Can you see their smile? Take their hand and just sit in silence. Breathe in. Can you see if maybe you can remember their smell? Just share a moment in eternity with them. Remember a lesson they taught you. Ask for forgiveness. When you're ready, ask for your blessing. Feel their hands on your capelet. And now offer them your blessing. Tell them what they meant to you, what they'll always mean to you, what you're grateful for, what they taught you, what you will always carry with you. Keep your eyes closed. A Yisker prayer. I haven't forgotten you. Even though it's been some time now since I've seen your face, touched your hand, heard your voice, you're with me all the time. I used to think you left me. I know better now. You come to me. Sometimes in fleeting moments I feel your presence close by, but I still miss you. And nothing, no person, no joy, no accomplishment, no distraction, not even God can fill the gaping hole your absence has left in my life. But mixed together with all my sadness, there's a great joy for having known you. I want to thank you for the time we shared, for the love you gave, for the wisdom you spread. Thank you for the magnificent moments and for the ordinary ones too. There was beauty in our simplicity, holiness in our unspectacular days, and I will carry the lessons you taught me always. Your life has ended, but your light can never be extinguished. It continues to shine upon me even on the darkest nights and illuminates my way. I recite this Yizkor in your honor and in your memory. May God bless you as you have blessed me, with love, with grace, and with peace. Amen.